What if the most dangerous femme fatale of our time isn't a spy or seductress from history, but the woman sitting across from you at that coffee shop, scrolling through her phone with perfect indifference? In the digital age, a new breed of femme fatale has emerged. She doesn't need poison rings or secret codes. Her weapons are far more subtle and infinitely more powerful. She wields independence like a double-edged sword, success like armor, and self-sufficiency like an invisible force field that keeps potential suitors at bay. Meet the modern woman who has accidentally become the most formidable femme fatale in history. Not through intention, but through evolution. For centuries, women needed men for survival, protection, and financial security. This dependency created predictable patterns in courtship. Men knew their role, their value, and their approach. But something shifted. In the past few decades, women began climbing corporate ladders, buying their own homes, traveling solo, and building empires with nothing but ambition and Wi-Fi. This transformation created an unexpected consequence. The very independence that liberated women also intimidated the men who once felt confident approaching them. Consider her arsenal of modern power. She posts photos from exotic locations she funded herself. Her LinkedIn profile reads like a corporate thriller. She owns property, drives luxury cars, and maintains friendships that span continents. She's created a life so complete, so polished, so enviable that men look at her and think, what could I possibly offer someone who already has everything? The paradox is delicious and tragic. The more successful she becomes, the more mysterious and untouchable she appears. Her confidence, once attractive, now seems intimidating. Her standards, naturally elevated by her achievements, appear impossibly high. She's become a riddle wrapped in designer clothing and professional accomplishments. Social media amplifies her mystique. Every carefully curated post tells a story of a life lived fully, without waiting for anyone's permission. She's at wine tastings in Tuscany, closing business deals in boardrooms, hiking mountains at sunrise. Her digital presence screams independence so loudly that men hear it as, I don't need you, rather than I'm interesting and accomplished. The dating apps that promised connection instead created distance. She swipes through profiles like a CEO reviewing resumes, applying the same standards she uses in her professional life. Why shouldn't she? If she's going to invest her precious time, shouldn't the return be worthwhile? Meanwhile, men find themselves in uncharted territory. The old playbook of being providers and protectors feels obsolete when she's already protecting and providing for herself. They wonder, how do you court someone who doesn't need rescuing? How do you impress someone who's already impressive? The rejection fear intensifies when the stakes feel higher. Approaching a woman who clearly has options, standards, and a life she loves feels like auditioning for a role that might already be filled by her career, friends, and personal fulfillment. Her very presence in bars, restaurants, and social spaces carries an air of mystery. She's there by choice, not necessity. She's comfortable alone, engaged with her phone or book, radiating the kind of self-possession that historically belonged to femme fatales of film noir. She doesn't need anyone's attention, which makes her attention infinitely more valuable and terrifying to pursue. The most dangerous aspect of this modern femme fatale isn't her intention to harm, but her complete lack of need for masculine validation. She's accidentally created scarcity around herself simply by being whole. Some men retreat entirely, preferring the safety of online interactions or dating apps where rejection feels less personal. Others gravitate toward women who seem more traditionally approachable, less intimidating, more obviously in need of what they offer. But here's the twist that would make any classic femme fatale proud. She often doesn't realize the power she wields. She's simply living her life, pursuing her goals, and being herself. The mystery, the intimidation, the untouchable aura, it's all unintentional. She's a femme fatale by accident, dangerous not through calculation, but through evolution. The irony cuts deep. In gaining everything they wanted, independence, success, fulfillment, many women find themselves lonelier than ever in the romantic sphere. They've become so self-sufficient that they've accidentally made themselves appear self-contained. As one successful woman recently observed, I worked so hard to not need a man that I forgot how to want one to choose me anyway. She remains the most captivating femme fatale of our time, not because she destroys men, but because she's built a life so compelling that approaching her feels like trying to add a footnote to a masterpiece.